by request, long division. All right, long division. There's little Mr. Papno there. This is take two, by the way, kids. I've already filmed all of this, and as I was sitting at my computer editing it before putting it onto YouTube, I realized I had spelled the word subtract wrong. And I figured I really can't put that on YouTube for you kids with a spelling mistake that bad. It just isn't going to work for me. Okay, so before we do some long division, I'm going to show you how to go through one of the problems from the sheet. We got to remember the 4 steps. Remember, the first step is estimate. Basically, how many times do you think the divider goes into the divisor? The little number into the big number. The second step is multiply. And you'll see that as we get going, right? The third step is subtract. I spelled it correctly. The T is where it's supposed to be. Hint, hint. And the fourth step is for regroup or restart. So, parents, it'll drive you nuts, I understand, when I show you 2 ways of doing long division, because that's not how we were taught when we were growing up. And I am older than all of you, so I understand that. We were taught one way to do long division, and it was this. I'm going to use question 2 or 1B from that page. So 758 divided by 8. In the old days, we had to know how many times 8 went into each number, right? So does 8 go into 7? No. Some people can put a 0 up there and then move on. What you do here, kids, and this is where it often gets confusing, is you want to know how many times can 8 go into 75. Well, you've got to know your times tables exactly. 8 goes into 75, not 7 times, not 8 times. It goes in 9 times, and you have to know that. If you put in 8 times, it's going to mess up your whole answer. So you write down the 9. Where do you write it down? That's right. You have to write it above the 5. See, it makes total sense. Because the 5 is, you know, where we're kind of cutting off our number there. We're ignoring the 8 for now. I'm already confused. That's our estimate. The next step is multiply. 9 times 8, you better know it's 72. So you write it down here under the 75. Then we would subtract 75, take away 72 is 3. Then we regroup. That means we bring down the 8. You all with me, kids? Okay. Now we restart. So we go 8. How many times can it go into 38? Well, 5 times is too much. It can go in there 4 times, correct? So write down your 4. That's your estimate. Now you multiply. 4 times 8, 32. Now you subtract. 38 take away 32 is 6. Is there anything to regroup? No. So 8 can't go into 6. If you've done all this right, that's 94 with a remainder of 6. Okay, so parents, this will be the part that drives you nuts. It's different than how we learned it. However, the way I'm going to show you allows the kids to kind of create, well, their own guesses. They don't have to be right or correct right off the bat. They're still going to get to the same answer. So we start the same way. Write down 758 divided by 8. Here's where it's different. I'm going to draw this big line down the side here. And this is going to be our workspace over here. So we go through the routine the same way. We go estimate. And here's how we start it. We go, okay, how many times is 8 go into 758? Well, obviously, I don't know the exact answer to that. I do know that if I went in 100 times, that's too much. That'll be 800. If I put it in 10 times, that's only 80. So that's not enough, and that's going to take me a long time. I could probably estimate, though, that 8 goes into this number half of 100 times. Well, half of 100 is 50, right? So that's my estimate. Next step, same as the other process, is multiply. So 8 times 50. Well, kids, you all know 8 times 5 is 40. Add another 0, you get 400, right? So write down your 400. Beauty. Next step is subtract. So a little bit bigger number subtraction, but you can all handle this. 758 take away 400. Well, that's 358. Okay, and then regroup, restart, go back to the top. So now we go back to the 8 and we go, okay, how many times does 8 go into 358? Well, I know it can't go 50 times, that's too much. Again, I know if I put it 10 times, that's not going to be enough. But I could probably go 40 times, right? That's just a little bit less than 50. So if I said 40, I'm going to write 40 over here. All right, so next step is multiply 8 times 40. Well, kids, you know 8 times 4 is 32. And because there's a 0 there, add a 0 there. Magic, isn't it? Subtract. 358, take away 320 is 38. We're getting close. Kind of the same thing we got in the last time, wasn't it? Back to the top, restart, estimate how many times does 8 go into 38? I know it can't go in 5 times because that's 40, that's too much. I know it goes in 4 times. Multiply, 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract, would you look at that? It's the same remainder we got before. So where's the answer? Well, the answer's on the workspace side over here. It's real simple. All those estimates, just add them up now. 50 plus 40 plus 4, it's 94. And remainder 6. And that's another way to do long division. So try those questions on the sheet that I sent. If you don't understand and you're having trouble with it, rewatch the video. It's spectacular. And if it still doesn't make sense, send me a message and I will get in touch with you personally and walk you through long division. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.